Why am I playing this game? Alright, last time, what do you think I asked about marketing you never fell for? Something that you never jumped on the bandwagon to. Dead Thumb writes in, put some respect on Alter Beast's name. Well, it does deserve its place in Sega Genesis history as something that showed off what the Sega Genesis could do. You could get close to arcade ports on a home console. In terms of something that sits on my shelf, absolutely not. And I wouldn't keep it on my shelf for that reason. Yeah, my former comment on the last one was spot on. Oh well, I'm feeling Nostradamus again. Are you familiar with the rapper Nas? If so, then you may get my next reference. It ain't hard to tell, oh well. If not Nas, what about KRS-One? I think very deeply. Boogie Down Productions. I mean, these are names I haven't heard in years, man. So I was never much a music guy. Sorry. Marketing is kind of like puppeteering to me. I get product placement, however, bells, whistles, and fireworks don't do it for me either. I think that comes with age. Usually, you see enough of it over and over again, you just don't immediately jump on the bandwagon. So at the same time, I know there have been surprises that in some games, some media or whatever I'm enjoying, that if I didn't engage with it, and if I thought it was just going to be another one of those, I wouldn't have found something unique and enjoyable about that experience. I also think that these, even though you could ignore them, maybe somebody else doesn't ignore them, and then you hear about their interest, their love, their something that they discovered through it, and that might actually influence you. So it might not be good, might not be something that you actually need in a product, but other people do. I'm very skeptical of marketing in general. I've experienced enough disappointments to know to keep my expectations low or for just about anything these days, which I think is a very cynical approach, but at the same time, like we just said, there's wisdom in that. It's kind of negative, but I understand where you're coming from. I guess you could say the Wii U, since that bombed and I completely dodged it. I was already done with Nintendo after the 3DS. Wasn't interested in buying another one of their consoles. Really, I guess you could read that as a diss on the 3DS. But I think the 3DS has an amazing library. So, PS5 and the new Xbox look awful. I feel bad for anyone who wants to buy those things. Not everyone has played through generation and generation. So, if they make a Tomb Raider on PS5, it's gonna look like Tomb Raider. Maybe Lara's gonna have goosebumps. I don't know. Maybe you can singe off the hairs on her arm. It's still Tomb Raider, right? Honestly, most games this generation have just flown over my head. I just haven't given enough shit to give them a try because they don't interest me in the slightest. And even when they try to, I just see it as yet another game trying to pander to those nostalgia goggles. I don't know. I mean, you can play certain games that do that, but there are definitely other games that are trying new things. So I don't think that gaming is dead. Put simply, hype and myself don't go together. I oppose the entire concept of hype. I can't simply look at a game at face value and be excited anymore. I'm always skeptical. I need to know how well it plays and how well executed all of its features are. I can't find that out until I play or research it. That's fair. I try to stay clear of gaming news these days. Most of my favorite gaming websites, spelled the UK way, sorry. I don't know. Most of my favorite video game series are now dead or suffer a fate worse than death, so I don't anticipate anything anymore. I'm just focusing on trying out older games that I miss now, particularly games that look interesting to me. That's very interesting that you point out that if you go back into these older generations, there was an understanding of the technology at the time, of previous technology that came before it, of concepts and general trends. And so you'll find that a lot of people are making similar games. A lot of books are similar. A lot of movies are similar. They kind of build off of each other. So you can find the same, if you go backwards in terms of gaming history, you can find that there's a lot of repeat, just as there's a lot of repeat right now. So, all right. Then we got one from the Golden Age Gamer. I guess I'm in the minority. I love Altered Beasts. I see people trashing Altered Beasts and Echo the Dolphin. Really, Echo the Dolphin? And they are solid games. I just saw Altered Beasts as the pack-in game that was easy to port and show the Genesis was an arcade port console. Sega was marketed as the arcade port console. I don't honestly get the hate Altered Beast gets. Yeah, not sorry. I don't like it. Sorry. I don't know why I'm saying sorry. Majority, having driven through Texas recently, that's interesting. There are plenty of heavily branded chain foods, but most of them are fast, generic, and a one-way ticket to a heart attack. There was one chicken place called Chicken Express or something like that. The logo next to it was a cartoon chicken on its stomach looking like roadkill. What were they thinking? It's funny, it reminds me of Choky Chicken from Rocko's Modern Life. I immediately get turned off by false advertising or messages, much in the vein of More 7. I'm sorry, maybe that's like a copy-paste thing. It could be simple packaging decisions, the best insert genre of all time, or something on the cover far removed from the game. I'm thinking specifically of some puzzle bobble game on PS2, but most things like that too. It's the same kind of disingenuous practice as releasing only cinematic hype trailers for games without gameplay, especially if the brand name isn't already recognizable. You know what's funny? Do you remember when Smash Brothers Melee came out on the GameCube? It was almost immediately, like I think that game came out in November of that year, whatever year it was. I bought my copy in December, and it had a little golden emblem on the cover that said bestseller. And I was like, already? You can already slap that on? Maybe they already knew the numbers. I don't know, but it seemed kind of disingenuous. What was I going to say else about that? Oh yeah, cinematic hype trailers. They have to cut things together to keep things moving. But in most games, there are lulls in gameplay. You know, there's a build up and then a lull, build up and a lull, like a roller coaster ride. So if they just had like the slow, you know, you have to get a lot of information across in a trailer. I agree, if it's mostly cinematic, it's probably not the best decision. But yeah, you know, usually there's multiple trailers then. There's the cinematic trailer and then there's the one with gameplay. So you just have to wait for those things. I didn't play Altered Beast until, Death Adder writes, I didn't play Altered Beast until maybe on the Sega channel. I gotta say, that is something, you know, it's a very unique experience, Death Adder. Maybe towards the end of my Genesis ownership, I don't know. It's a fun game, but certainly not a 10 out of 10 like Streets of Rage 2, Golden Axe, General Chaos, any old Sonic game. Not gonna agree with that one. I know you traded your East Coast street brawling days for a more West Coast hippie vibe now. Have I? I don't know. I think that's just an age thing. But have you been able to try a Sierra Mist since you've quit soda? It's so sweet it'll knock you on your ass. I can tell you what, I'm not going to try it now. Because it's, you know, tons of sugar. Has more lime flavor to it than Sprite or 7-Up. Nah, I guess I know I've tried some. I think I've tried Slice, Sprite, 7-Up. Is KC Royal? Did they make one? I don't know. Is that even a brand? I don't know. I've tried other. Probably no. I can't even remember the last time I went down the soda aisle and actually looked to see. I don't think I ever bought soda, like a soda bottle, in my adult life. I don't. Alright, True McFly writes, great question. I didn't fall for the Sega CD marketing back in the day. I thought those FMVs looked like crap, which they did. I totally agree with you. What Sega was trying to sell me on, CD quality sound, full motion video. That's the term right there, full motion video, faster processing. I did not fall for. I completely agree. That's all I saw. I kind of wish I did though, not for the games Sega was showcasing, but for the other great games on the Sega CD that Sega never bothered to even market at all, like Dark Wizard, Lunar, The Terminator, or Earthworm Jim, etc. I don't remember much marketing for the great Sega CD games, only those FMV Trainwrecks and Sonic CD. Completely agree. Even if they did market things like KO or Pop Full Mail, which are games that I have interest in now, going back, I don't think I would. I don't know. I don't know if I could spend. What was it? $300, $400? I don't know what it was at FunClan. It was probably cheaper, but definitely not. I don't know. I don't know if I could justify that cost. Oddly, and plus I didn't. It would take forever to save up that kind of money as a kid. I didn't have an allowance or anything. Oddly enough, I did fall for the Sega 32X marketing. I think I was one of the very few. I thought the 32X was going to extend my beloved Genesis for years to come. The marketing blitz included Star Wars Arcade Virtual Racing, which was huge in the arcade at the time, and Doom on the Sega. Finally, us Sega fans got to play Doom, albeit the worst version of the port. Yeah, well, I mean, I guess that is true, you know? Console players, they can only play their console game if they don't have a PC. Actually, I don't think I played Doom. I only played Doom in like CompUSA, I think. So, yeah, our computer. We had a computer. It could not handle Doom. So, yeah, I don't know. I love my 32X. I loved it then, and I really didn't think I fell for the marketing. It was just something my brother had, so we could get games for it, and it was just like, oh, we have a 32X. Well, what 32X games are out there? And so yeah, I don't really feel like I was taken advantage of, even though it technically failed. So it would have been great though to see what they could pump out with that amount of power in a cartridge. In what, 94? They did. We got 3D Star Wars games, Virtual Racing, Virtual Fighter, which runs like smooth butter. Amazing stuff. If only we could see what the developers could do with that console. I don't know. Where are my homebrews that are like pure solar level of genius on the 32X? Come on, guys, get with it. Why am I playing this game? I mean, it shouldn't have to be a chore to play through a game, right? You should want to play through the game. The game is designed. A good game is designed to make you feel that way. But with Assassin's Creed, I started playing the first game and I immediately saw the structure of the game and it felt very repetitive. You know, you find a guy, you kill him, you find a guy, you kill him. I was more interested in exploring and doing nonsense around the you know, this backdrop. And when Assassin's Creed 2 came around, I was like, well, I mean, it could be better, and it's well made. You know, you can instantly see they put a lot of effort into the games. And actually, when I picked it up, I enjoyed exploring again and loved those tombs. And I actually really dug the sci-fi backstory of the game, unlocking all those extras, which that was kind of fun to me. But at the same time, there was this nagging. It was a nagging need to finish the game, and I really didn't want to. I didn't want to stay in the world, but at the same time, it was like it just completely disinterested me. but I did complete the game eventually. And when the third game came out, Brotherhood, it had a major online component, and that really disinterested me. So I watched the cutscenes on YouTube just so that I could get up to speed when the fourth game came out, Revelations, and that really should have been my major, signal to myself, like, hey, you're really not interested in these games, stop playing. And then I got into like the first mission, which I think it's supposed to be a side mission, or it's supposed to teach you how to play through side missions where you protect your base from being taken over by, I guess, Templars or something. Anyways, I just immediately stopped and I never went back to the series. So why do we continue to play these games which we recognize as, like, is it just that it's just like we feel like we've played so much of it that we have to continue playing? Is it like it's part of a series, and obviously you played through 1 through 3, so you got to play number 4? And video games do this a lot, There's obviously, I don't know how many Assassin's Creed now. Main console series, Assassin's Creed. Probably at least 10. I'm guarantee you there's somebody out there who's continuing to play them and probably hates them. So why do we do it, right? We don't have to play. Why do we have to play through all the Mega Mans on the NES? Aren't 2 and 3? Aren't they all we need? So yeah. Are there any games you've ever done this with? And why do you think you do this? What do you think?